Hey guys, give me just a moment. Just a moment. Hey Danny.
Vibration can crystallize matter into form.
Sorry, Danny. I was talking about you this morning. Talking about what a wonderful guy you are. Hey Sniper. Sniper says greetings, all beautiful souls across the pond and under the same skies. And when I mean all, we are all from the one. Absolutely. Hey Lee. So there's no sense in me waiting to see who's going to show up. I have it on good authority from several people sending me a message today that, hey, Flipper, not a whole lot of people plan on showing up any longer, um, unless I make some changes. Fair enough. I completely understand it. However, some of the changes I'm just not able to make. I wish I could. Well, no, actually, I don't. Because I just can't. I need to be true. I'm not here so much to teach anyone anything as to be taught. And we teach what we most need to learn, meaning that I am here to learn how to love, unconditionally. The only way I can do that is to demonstrate it to the best of my ability from moment to moment, not even day by day, moment by moment. So I'm afraid a lot of people, for now, always new people come by. And maybe my message will resonate, maybe it won't. So I feel bad. I don't like losing friends. Wish I had a better solution. However, I had a beautiful demonstration by Kat this morning that we also can't allow this to be a place where I can't allow it to be a place where grievances are aired continuously. Certainly, if you have a problem with me, let me know. Many do. I'm too bald for some. I'm too glassy for some. I talk funny for some. I look funny for some. I have a strange message for some. There's always something. Feel free, let me know. I can take it. But the continuous grievance of one person or many people, you can't do. So there's going to be a very loving message of, hey, we heard you. And hey, we heard you again. No one's ever going to be banned. Well, you never know. But no one's going to be banned for this reason. But we will have a timeout starting with just a little bit and then for the rest of the day, because it gives us and that person, whoever that person might be, a little bit of a sacred pause. It gives them an opportunity to think, is this what I want to bring? Is this what I want the channel to become? Do we want it to be a place where we are easily offended and then we offer that grievance to someone else? So there'll be a pause. Maybe it's too late for people, and maybe it's not enough for people. Again, I dislike losing people, but I'm willing to take that chance because I have to. As I put in the quote above, I'm here only to be truly helpful. I'm here to represent him being love. He sent me. I do not have to worry about what to say or what to do because he who sent me will direct me. My directive is always to love. And again, I'm imperfect at it, but the only way I can get better at unconditional loving is to truly offer unconditional love to everyone. I will dive in the comment, guys, in a second. Hey, Jessica. And hey, Sissy. Ms.Blipper is going to come up and we're going to talk. Everyone gets a second chance. Everyone gets infinite chances. People can show up day after day after day after day, and I'm absolutely fine with it. However, we just want the conversation to flow. So I had to come up with a solution. And to watch Kat so lovingly say, sorry, my friend, but I need to time you out for the morning. And then when people said, how come you just don't ban them? She said, because everyone gets another chance. And she's absolutely right. Everyone get infinite chances. Yep, we can do breath work. I'm going to bring up, hey, MDL, I'm going to bring up Ms.Blipper in just a moment. And then hopefully, if she doesn't mind, she'll do some breath work with us. And then we're going to dive into our conversation. Hey, Song of Hand. Yes, as Ms.Blipper says, what people choose to put on the altar is relevant. Yes, and maybe we'll talk about that a little bit too. This produces no small amount of fear for me, guys. I earn my livelihood, such as it is, through YouTube. I decided to make this not only my learning ground, but my sole source. Almost about 80% of my income comes from YouTube. So I approach this with a lot of fear, which I don't like. But I need to be committed to what I set my life path to be. And I'm willing to take that chance. I hope that lets you know how committed I am and why I have to do what I have to do. Last thing before I ask Ms.Blipper to come up is, hey, Tiger King. Hi to everyone in here. Happy bank holiday. I heard it was a bank holiday. The last thing is, no, I don't remember what the last thing was. That's what happens when I interrupt myself. The very last thing, give me a minute. I'm going to think about it. Oh, I can't promise anyone a safe place. I never have. But what I want to do and what I set out to do from the very beginning is to help everyone create their own safe place in the mental laboratory of their mind. Wherever they go, they have the tools to choose peace instead of what they are experiencing in this moment. That's been the only goal. You can create your own peaceful place wherever you go. No one's responsible for how you feel. No one else is responsible for your fear, for your grievances, for anything that is going on in your mind. No one else is ever responsible for that. You're responsible. And responsible, I mean you have the ability to respond. You can choose something other than this. If you want peace, you can find it here. You can also find it somewhere else. I will help you do that. If you come in here and you learn breath work and say, well, I'm out of here, that place sucks. That's fine. As long as you learn breath work, as long as you learn how to choose peace, as long as maybe you learn some meditation, as long as you leave feeling a little bit better. And if you never want to come back because I'm a horrible teacher, because I didn't keep you safe, because whatever, but if you get that one thing that you get to choose, it's absolutely fine by me. I love you guys. If the beautiful Ms.Blipper would like to come up, and Ms.Blipper, you want to do some breath work with us? And it's a question, please, to Eric about one, please. Thank you. Yes, you can ask a question. And Tiger King, I was wondering, would you ever want to come up and share your story, what you've been through? And if anything, maybe people might find it helpful if we got to know each other. I've talked to many people here for a long time. We don't know a whole lot about you, Tiger King. Miss Pippa says, yeah, sure. Hey, Al Akbar. But logo mean, this is a Red Cross, means Red Cross. I have donated blood, but I didn't get this for donating blood, but a friend of mine did, and she gave it to me. Lee says, that's a nice idea, Yogi. Thank you so much, Lee. But we're not gonna talk about this because we got other stuff to talk about. But we're not gonna talk about this. Thank you so much, Lee. We got other stuff to talk about. Real quick, Tiger King says, got back to your comments, said, give me a few days, we'll come and we'll do so. Okay, awesome, Tiger King. Tiger King is going to share some of his story. Got back to your comments, said, give me a few days, we'll come and we'll do so. Okay, awesome, Tiger King. Tiger King is going to share some of his story. That's what I was going to ask. How you feeling, Ms.Blipper?
Very good, thanks. How are you doing?
Good. Is there any particular type of breath work you'd like to do?
I like 4 inhales, 4 exhales, 10 GD.
You got it. 4x4. Sissy says, hi, you beautiful sister, Miss Blipper.
Hello.
Hey, Nightmare. All right, so we're going to do that. Jessica, are you ready, my friend? Jessica is panicking a little bit. We are going to hopefully help you with that, Jessica. What we're going to start with, to any type of panic, as soon as we feel it, we can regress it. We can take a step back from that edge. And we do so first by checking in with our body. Just feeling what we feel without any bias, without saying, oh, this is, don't want to feel that. Just recognize it, and through the lens of awareness, it will start relaxing completely on its own. So what we're going to do, Swipper, if you don't mind closing your eyes. And let's put a little attention first on the breath. Bringing it through the nose. We're breathing in through the nose, and we're breathing out through the nose. And the out breath, we're relaxing just a little bit. And we're going to use that out breath as our tool for relaxation, as a tool for easing back from that edge. Every time we exhale, we relax deeper. So we're going to start with our toes. We're going to breathe in, and we're just going to consciously relax the toes. Anywhere we feel tension, we relax. Bottom of the feet. Breathing in, we relax our calves. Following up, we're relaxing the thighs and the glutes. The glutes are one of the largest muscles in the body. And they retain a whole lot of tension. Feel that lower back relaxing. A little attention on the belly and how the belly is rising and falling nice and easy. Every little bit of tension easy. Our shoulders are dropping down. Our neck is relaxed. Our hands, our arms. Just traveling through the body. You get to the jaw, temples, and the forehead becomes peaceful. This next breath, we're going to breathe in and use that ujjayi breath, that ha sound of the ocean. And with the count of 3, we'll begin our 4 in and our 4 out breath. 1, 2, 3. Breathing in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the nose for 2, 3, 4. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 2, 3, 4. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 2, 3, 4. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 2, 3, 4. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 2, 3, 4. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 2, 3, 4. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 2, 3, 4. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 2, 3, 4. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 2, 3, 4. Last breath together for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 2, 3, 4. And just sit for a moment. The breath settling and returning to its own natural rhythm, evened out and at peace. Our body's relaxed and our mind is at ease, making it a perfect opportunity to dive into a discussion on A Course in Miracles. Hello, Miss Daisy. So, how would you like to start things off with a deep dive into the fishbowl of imperatives? Never know what we're going to get, guys. Ms.Blipper is going to dive in.
Just say when. When?
When? Hi, Miss Daisy. Daisy, how are you? Mint, how are you? And Nightmare, welcome in, guys.
This is
What do you
very apropos of what you were talking about in your intro and people's grievances, I think. It says, and what I was saying too, give back to heaven the little.
What's that, guys?
That there I am. I had an alarm go on. Okay, it says
Let's go.
it says give back to heaven the little part, the little thought that seems split off and separate. You think you stole from heaven.
Beautiful. And you're absolutely correct, as it often is. So let's unpack that real quick.
What?
Let's unpack that.
All right.
Quick.
Yeah.
First off, the fact that we think that we are separate.
Yeah.
How do we correct that?
Well, it says here to just return the part that you think is separate. Give it back to what's whole.
So if I'm responding to someone, if I'm airing a resentment or a grievance, is that thought creating separation? Or is it creating the feeling of separation? The belief?
I'm sorry, run that by me again. If you say to somebody, or if you think that somebody's got a grievance, right?
Yeah, if I'm offering grievances or I'm offering resentment towards someone.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess the first thing for me anyway would be the idea of recognition that that's what they're offering themselves. Is that what they want? Something to look at. No,
It is. I think go ahead. I think
I have to do that sometimes. Sometimes what I do is like I see something I don't like, or I think somebody's behaving in a way that I don't like or something. And I like to ask myself, am I just with my thoughts, am I guilt tripping this person?
right.
Because that's not a happy place to be.
It is not. I come back to projection. Nothing is occurring outside of mind, one mind. And if I am recognizing any kind of resentment, if I am recognizing any kind of grievance, it's not them. We're never upset for the reason we think we are. They have not upset me. I've upset myself. And I can take that and I can offer it back up to heaven, meaning I can choose peace in this moment. Or I could just careen through life, pointing my finger and shouting, waving my fist, and saying, "You've pissed me off, and you've pissed me off, and you've pissed me off." But I've been there, not very happy. Um, and I love, been talking about this with Kat quite a bit. I love the wonderful quote, "Our tolerance for pain may be high, but it's not without limits."
True.
Sooner or later, I hope everyone in every chat, in every live stream, reaches their tolerance for pain, reaches a limit. But that doesn't mean I'm going to find another live stream or getting off the computer or turning into a hermit, because life's always going to find you where you are. And it's always going to present to you a teacher. And it's up to you. May as well learn the lesson here where we love you, than somewhere else where you might have to keep learning it. But maybe I'm being a little selfish because I want people to stay.
No, I really do think of it as, when I meant altar, I didn't, of course, mean a physical altar, but like more of, what people put their focus on, or what they, what they're considering important, or holy even. And so I figure, if there are nice things like love and peace, then that's what I would put on the altar. That's what I would want to bring to the altar, not all of my grievances.
Right, right. Um, that might be the only, I think, that might be the only true choice that we have. Do I want to continue? Do I want to continue putting a grievance or resentment on the altar, or would I rather put peace? Would I rather put love? Would I rather choose? Um, what would I rather give to heaven? Now, of course, heaven's not going to reject anything.
Yeah,
By the way, if
it's just going to be
guys,
itself.
yeah, if I'm just want to let people know, if you don't like the term heaven, feel free to replace it. Do you have an alternative?
No worries.
I know that you
Could be well-being.
exactly, because I love your um, I love when you present a alternative, like with the Holy Spirit. Um, that really can put everyone at ease, because some people just, for various reasons, don't like the religious overtones of.
Yeah, people carry, myself included, a lot of associations with words, from past experiences or whatever.
True, very, very true. One of the things I love talking to you, one of the reasons I love talking to you, is we can pick a topic and eventually get there, but we can have a lot of fun on the way to getting there.
I hope so.
Because there is a lot, there's always a lot to unpack with A Course in Miracles.
It's a great word. I like all the unwords. I like to unlearn, unravel, unfold. No.
I'm going to read something from Becca. It says, "I have to talk about my grievances with others, or just fester with me until I snap." Hey, one thing to remember, and I agree, it is very good, but there's another voice, another listener that we can air those grievances to, and we could call that the presence of the Holy Spirit. If we are more devotional, we might say the presence of Christ within, of Jesus within. It could be a representation of Buddha or Krishna, but we do have um, alternatives to not just airing our grievances towards each other, because some people, if they're not ready to hear it, they're just going to turn around with their own. and then it's back and forth, and nothing's ever solved. But the Holy Spirit, and if we ask, will always take what we offer and turn it around. It'll always say, well, the answer to that is love. The answer to this is the love. We're never without that option that we can turn everything over to the Holy Spirit and receive nothing but peace back.
I'll gonna interject something
Sure.
here about the idea of sharing grievances too. If I just could add something to it, is me personally, I'm not a big believer in the purge system. I don't necessarily think that thoughts and ideas and beliefs and energies, they don't all work like the material world. Like in the material world, I pull a slip of paper out of the bowl and it's no longer in the bowl. But I do think what people choose to share is, because it is a choice, the idea being that then you're really getting into kind of co-creating what a scene is. So you got to think, okay, what's the scene you want to co-create? Is it a joyous, peaceful place, a happy place, or is it one where people are, not? Is it like an invitation to some sort of like misery, and who's more miserable than who else? And you know, I just
Right.
don't see that it necessarily goes away. And I think that in my experience anyway, I've seen more fortune go with just trying to keep my own peace. That seems to have been more effective for me personally than kind of trying to dissolve things.
Sure. I do understand that. This is a good time for me to bring up, and I talk about this often, the three gates
Hmm.
before we talk.
Okay.
This is a Zen teaching as well as by Jessica. It was in a poem by Rumi, and it talks about the three gates. Before we utter anything, before we speak, is what we're about to say true? Not do we want it to be true, or we think it's true, or I can make it true. But do you absolutely know for certain that it's true? And if you do, you proceed to the next gate. Is it necessary? Does it really, really need to be said? Not it's going to make me feel better, or I definitely insist that it needs to be said. If you examine it, if you really look at it through that lens of awareness, does it need to be said? Maybe it does. So it passes on to the third gate, which is the most important for me. Is it kind? Is it going to be truly helpful? And if it doesn't, then we got to really ask ourselves, what would be the purpose other than self-gratifying uh, in order to say it? So is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? Passing those three gates, we continue. Of course, that's not in a casual conversation when you're talking sports or, you know what I mean? It's when you are really want to engage in a dialogue with someone, or when you're on a live stream. And if people um, paused, they didn't just rush to a judgment, but they took that little, I love to think of it as a sacred pause where we asked ourselves, is it necessary? Do I really need to say this? Is it going to help that other person? Is it even going to help me? Because if I have to convince someone that they're wrong, I never walk away feeling better, or at least not for long. Especially if by making them wrong, I've hurt them, because I only truly diminish myself in my own mind.
For me, in those three gates, the hardest one is the first one. Is this true? And because I just think truth is such a huge world, and I think it's okay to acknowledge that sometimes we're just sincere, but sincerity and honesty aren't exactly the same thing.
Agree. Well, we know in a hey Adam, in our world, and particularly a country filled with political discord, everyone thinks what they're about to say is true, and everyone's very sincere in the belief that it's true, which
Yeah,
is why
people go to war over such things
we
all the
do.
time.
Yep. Uh, hey, CC. So to be willing to kill someone for what you think might be true. That's why we go with, do we know for certain, 100%, that it's true? And that's why we also have three gates, because in the end, you might feel that it's necessary, and you might feel that it is true. Um, but if you think, at least the way I'm about to say it, is it kind? Is it really going to help this person? Um, when we hit our last hill on that gate, and we step aside with a big ouchie, we might say, I'd rather not. Maybe. Or we might storm through all the gates. I'm trying to think if there's an equivalent to the three gates offered in the course.
Well, there's definitely bits about the truth, and trust. There's definitely stuff like that in the teacher's manual you were mentioning. Not gates per se, but I guess the course is more like drawn out in actually taking people through the process of uh, developing, ways to look at their stuff, what they're putting out there. That definitely.
Right. I like the thought that the course offers in several different wordings that would you rather be right or at peace?
It actually says, do you prefer peace, or would you rather be right or happy?
Right. What
Yeah,
a
same, I guess.
what an important thing we could ask ourselves. If we're about to say something in a chat and real life in a political argument, uh, do you want to insist that you're right? That which means that if you're right, you're willing to deny someone else their own particular view.
Yeah, like a combat of wills.
Right. And you know what? It's okay. It's okay to think that you're right. You could walk away from the conversation saying, well, I was absolutely right. But if you chose happiness and peace, then you didn't deny the other person his view. You didn't go to battle.
Yeah, they're actually I mean, I might have inferred this from the course, but I think it also says somewhere, and I'm paraphrasing here, that it's actually two completely different um like roadmaps in your mind. The focus is taking you on a different course if you're looking at peace and happiness as your goal, or if you're looking at being right as your goal, because it carries all sorts of um other things with it. Does that make sense?
It does.
The actual
Sis,
brain circuitry.
right. I want to touch on that in a minute. Sissy says, so I'll be diving in, looking for questions, guys. So feel free to ask and repeat them because you know how I am. Um,
Yeah.
happiness. That same message is my 7-day outlook. Taking forever to upload right now due to Wi-Fi issues. Hey, if it uploads during the conversation here, Sissy, feel free to drop the link, and we'll get there. You had mentioned the two. What was your exact words about the two choices in the mind?
Oh, the
Just the two nice
circuitry.
things. Yeah. And
Hmm.
how would you relate that to having two teachers?
I'd say they're very similar, almost identical. Yeah.
Can you tell everyone what are
Well,
what
are
are
you
the
going
two?
to go with kind of what is holy, and by holy I mean helpful, going, light giving, extending love, or um, are you going towards the direction of kind of insisting on separation? It's like a sort of
Um,
unified wellness or separation. Yeah.
what is so? Can you tell people who are our two teachers? What does it mean that we have two teachers? When I say we have two teachers,
Well, we're deciding all the time. All
right?
the time. We're deciding in continuation from them, even while we sleep, we're deciding.
Um, so I like the simplicity when the course says that. Thank you, Sissy. Ego or the Holy Spirit.
Mhm.
The simplicity. Who are we choosing in any given moment? We're either choosing the ego as our teacher, which has given us the role that we have, which has given us um, every little bit of trouble we've ever experienced in our entire life, every
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
Um,
All,
or we
all,
can
I, all ideas of separation.
comes directly from the ego. Um, or hey, mercy. Um, or we choose the Holy Spirit. The difficulty is that the ego is always out and always speaks first. Uh, the Holy Spirit has no need to do anything but whisper and wait, knowing that eventually we're going to turn. Um, I love how Kenneth Wapnick always points out it's okay to choose the ego. Just know that you chose the ego, and then things begin to change. You don't want to battle it. You don't want to suit up in a coat of armor and go to war against the ego, because that's just the ego fighting itself, and the ego wins. Either way, the ego ends up winning because if the ego is fighting the ego, what do you have left?
It really is a matter of choice, though, in decision, and kind of following what you're saying there. It isn't something that you have to do in terms of, an action, or you calling the shots about, what is or what isn't. It's really quite simple. It's just like, just not preferring the ego. you know like,
Right, right.
had I my druthers, or a better vision, is that what I would prefer?
Let me give a big, big thank you to Maddie. Um,
Thanks, Maddie.
and he said, "For love, we all do sin. In chat, you have many a friend." Our
Aw.
friend Maddie is a wonderful poet. He would deny um, the only thing, in my opinion, the only thing greater than his talent is he's got such a huge heart. Um, he's been him, Chloe, his wife have been huge friends. I don't think I'd want to be doing YouTube without him, to be honest with you.
Nice. Where are they in the world?
Scotland.
Mhm.
If you ever get the opportunity, are you subscribed to Manny No F's No Frills No Mercy?
I'm not sure. I'll have to look.
Um, if you ever get the opportunity to hang out at the kitchen table when he's tying flies, for one, you will immediately know this guy's from Scotland,
Okay.
without a doubt. And it's just a fun, peaceful place to hang out and chat. So we're talking about two teachers, which finally brings us around to the topic of the day. 40 minutes into the conversation, um, manual for teachers. I, Kat and I have something in common. Um, Although for me, well, we have a lot in common, but for me, there's really little excuse. Why was it after 30 plus years of studying the course, did I not touch, or for very long didn't touch, manual for teachers?
No idea.
Because it felt presumptuous of me, even though I knew better, to declare myself a teacher of God.
Yeah, it doesn't even require at all anywhere in there that anybody declares themselves a teacher.
Right.
Instead it says actually it's like role reversal, and you're doing it all the time anyway, whether you think you're doing it or not.
Right. It's funny you said that because I just put up the manual for teachers, and it says the rule of teaching and learning is actually reversed in the world of thinking. The reversal is characteristic. It seems as if the teacher and the learner are separated, the teacher giving something to the learner rather than to himself.
It's kind of what we were talking about before.
Yep. And this happens often where I have rebelled against something, sometimes for a number of years, and then I open it up and I go, why didn't I open this sooner? Everything I need is right here. And I think I sometimes think that you could start with the manual for teachers and not go wrong. It provides a very clear what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not supposed to stand on a pulpit and point my fingers and wave my fist and shout at people, repent, repent, repent. Um, I'm supposed to love. Are you getting an image of me shouting, waving my
Yeah,
fist?
I am. And I was like, in my brain was going, I wonder how effective Eric would be on a pulpit shouting repent, repent. I don't think I wouldn't get far with me anyway. It's never worked. So
Probably not. And as I don't often raise my voice, it would come out like this, and people are like, check this guy out. um, but the directive is to love. How
what's
simple is
that?
that? The directive is to love. Teach only love, for that is who you are. Um, it simplifies everything. And so, who are God's teachers?
All of us, everybody, anybody wants to be. That's what it says.
What if you don't believe in God?
Do you believe in love? It's very hard to find people who've never experienced. I really don't think. I really think. I don't think it's possible to live completely in a loveless universe. I mean, that would be like being alive in a void. Is it? I
Um,
just think it's not taught very often. You don't go to school or university and they don't offer you degrees in love, and they don't emphasize how essential that is. But
right.
when they it always makes me think of the experiment with the rhesus monkeys, no, where they had the baby rhesus monkeys, and they gave some of them like an artificial mother, that had cloth and warmth and light coming out of these light bulb eyes, and they survived. And the infants that weren't infant rhesus monkeys, that weren't given any facsimile even of love, didn't live. It's really
Um,
basic.
right. Two things I want to add.
Hmm.
When you said we're not taught uh, ever love in school, not even when you go to school for theology are you taught how to love.
It's crazy.
Amazing.
My friend and I had a friend who's at Harvard. He's a genius. He's Scottish, and he had studied astrophysics, okay, and then he changed his major to medieval French literature because Harvard was paying for everything, because everything was on full scholarship because he was a genius. And so we looked it up one time, like he was picking his courses for the following year or whatever. So we put it in, looked it up, like scanned the course catalog for the word love. It was not there.
Nothing. Um, so our friend Cece offers his view on love.
Hmm.
Um, that love is an emotion that comes and goes.
Mm. Um, I think there are many, many different ways to look at love, and that's one of them. I
Right.
don't think it's just a coming and going emotion. Me personally, I give it more. I attribute more
Right.
stuff to
My
the word.
my thought coming not just from the course, but a yogic and Buddhist perspective
Mhm.
is love is the absence of all things that come and go. Love is that,
Just the opposite. Yeah.
right? Love is that which remains. And emotion is an emotion. It's an emotion. It's in motion. It's always
Mhm.
passing. It's always going. But love itself is what remains. Love itself is what holds. Love is what is aware of that which goes and is aware of that which stays without judgment and without condition, presence. Um, Now, what is expressed, what we currently think of as love towards another, is an attachment and conditional. As long as you are pleasing me, as long as you're making me happy, as long as I'm convinced that you love me, then I will return.
Mm,
Does it
I don't.
resonate with you?
Mm, I mean, it could be that, and people certainly do call that love, no question. Um, but that's like an exchange
Well,
going
exactly.
on,
That's what I
and
mean.
but there's also something which is just recognition. No.
Right. But that's what I mean. That which we currently think of love is considered an exchange. As long as I'm receiving something, I give something. In the absence of receiving, then I'm probably going to divorce you, or I'm probably going to leave you, or I'm probably going to ask for more. But the essence of love is the presence that never demands, never has a need to demand, because it can only receive, it can only receive, it can only receive. Because and the difference, and as the course points out several times, giving and receiving is actually the same thing. So how can we exchange one for the hope of getting something if
If something's already whole and complete, too.
exactly?
Yeah, I don't think, me personally, I don't think that that's how love functions. Me personally.
Right.
I don't I think of it more like extension and recognition, like truly the kind of the creative essence of uh everything.
Um, so what is what's the function of love?
Um to be itself.
And as we are love, um, and as we are endowed with every single one of the creator's ability, except for the ability to create ourselves, um, our function then is to love, to extend love.
Mhm.
That's it.
Yeah.
Our sole function in the universe is to create a world um, by extending love. One thought, one person, one choice at a time. When we choose the ego, we're not stunting love. We're simply momentarily and voluntarily refusing to cooperate with our purpose.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. All right. Did you, when you finished the course for the very first time, did you dive into the manual for teachers?
Yeah.
You're so much smarter than I am.
I'm not, not at all. I was I was entranced by the whole thing. So it's like in fact I should I wish I'd been paced myself more and not been so like devour this material, because then I
Right.
had to go back and like really taste it and savor it and examine it,
Hey, how did you, your first completion of the course, how did you feel?
um okay.
Did you
You
feel,
know,
well, I'm done?
no. No, I
365?
kind of that I did know. I knew that it was an ongoing process, because it's like it was for me. Doing the course wasn't just reading the material. If I'm actually like integrating the material in my mind. It's kind of like music. If you know something about music, you know that they have a sheet of music and you can play those notes, or you can make that song yours. You know, you can interpret it, you can, um yeah, integrate it.
Right.
Yeah,
Let me
and
read.
that's an ongoing process for sure, for sure.
I agree. I'm going to read another little poem from Maddie.
Mhm.
We love you, Mr. Yogi, that's for sure. Your heart and soul is simply pure. You're kind with a huge heart. I knew that from the very start.
Aw,
Beautiful. You're a great guy.
very nice,
Um,
lovely.
so I put aside the course, sort of, my first, after my first reading, all the way through, and thought rather naively, it'll work through me. I have the basic. Um, Not only had I read the course and did the workbook lessons, but I had read a lot of books about the course. I felt that I was fairly integrated. Um, Maybe a month or so later, uh, you know, finding that the ego was as ever present and ready to combat as ever before, I realized the process, for me at least, um, isn't done. It might never be done, and it's okay. Well, it might never be done this time around, um, which is fine because I just dive back in. Hey, Core. Thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for being here, Core. I'm sorry. Um, that there's always time and room to practice, and life is certainly going to give me every single opportunity to do so, over and over and over again. Which
Agreed.
is something I do want to talk about that I think some people might find fascinating. Um, Manual for teachers, and I was talking about this time around reincarnation. Um, I love the Manual for teachers view on it, but I'd like to hear your view.
Reincarnation.
Yep.
I'm all about it. I love it.
Do you?
Yeah, no. I get what the course says, and I agree with what the course says about it, in that really whatever people believe about it, what is important is what's going on right now, right here and now. So if it's healing, if it's feeling better, if it's extending love, if it's recognizing truth, recognizing who you are, recognizing what you want to be, appreciating, helping things go in a better direction, evolving somehow, whatever it is, it's all happening now.
Right.
So that does make sense to me as uh, kind of the real issue, and I wouldn't want um, the idea of reincarnation to somehow excuse or detract or dilute the current experience. But no, I
Right.
definitely believe in reincarnation.
Uh, Kat and I often say to each other, letting ourselves off the hook. And meaning that if we chose the wrong teacher, it's okay, just choose the right teacher. Just recognize, and when it comes around, but uh, reincarnation can be also a way of letting ourselves off the hook. But as you said, it could be delaying. It could be, well, I'll get it next lifetime. I can go ahead and be a bit of a jerk because it's always another lifetime.
Or just, not putting yourself in the context of here and now, that I can do something, I can choose something now. It's like, no, because everything's, attached to something earlier or before.
Right.
There's that. I remember a kid, like a young kid, I was at a party, like an outdoor party here, and it was my friend's son, and he was young, like I want to say he was like 11 or 12 years old or something, and just like completely, completely out of the blue, asked me the same question. It's like, what about reincarnation? What do you think about it, or whatever? And I gave pretty much the same answer, but what came up with me with him was, you know, because this kid had this idea that he'd kind of like been a naughty thief, like kind of guy, pizza maker in Napoli or something. And I was like, okay, but remember, it's not all bad either. There's people talk about um, karma a lot, but they don't necessarily talk about good karma as much as they talk about bad karma.
True, true. And no one ever wants to talk about that. Maybe they are what seems to be on the receiving end of karmic justice, um, is that maybe you are part of someone's. I love people saying, you'll get yours. I believe in karma, never thinking that you got yours because you are on the receiving end of that other sense of karma. Uh, I'm going to read real quick what um, you had mentioned that
Hmm.
the Course says, Manual for Teachers on Reincarnation. In the ultimate sense, reincarnation is impossible. There is no past or future, and the idea of birth into a body has no meaning either once or many times. Reincarnation cannot then be true in any sense. Our only question should be, is the concept helpful? And if you find it so, so I want to move on from that because I have a very sincere question for you.
Hmm.
When we talk about the characteristics of God's teachers, why does trust suck so much?
Why?
Meaning,
Why does trust suck
yeah,
so much?
why does it suck so much? Because it says throughout that the development of trust, that first a period of undoing, we're losing all kinds of stuff. And then, so the first is the period of undoing, and
Hmm.
then you go through a period of sorting out, which is
Hmm.
also a little painful. Um, and then you go through the stage called a period of relinquishment, as if undoing isn't enough. Now I got to relinquish, because there's some very valuable stuff that I did not want to relinquish that felt taken from me. Um, so now you think I've gone through all of that, I get to relax. Of course, they say if it's interpreted as giving up the desirable, you will suffer. It'll have enormous conflict. And very often it does seem that we're giving up that which is valuable. It just means that we've placed our value on the wrong thing. But when we get through that, we have a period of settling down, which I thought, phew, finally, I get to settle down. No, it worries me seeing you shake your head like that. So then the next stage, a period of unsettling.
Didn't we already have a period of unsettling? I thought we went through that
It
before.
seems
This
like it. We
period
went
is
through
unsettling twice.
nope, we went through a period of undoing.
Oh, undoing. Okay.
Yep. And then a period of sorting out, and
Mm-hmm.
then a period of relinquishment.
Mm.
And
Yeah, I
then we
got
have
undoing and unsettling kind of
right.
mixed up. Yeah, I thought they were the same.
And then we have a period of settling down,
Hmm.
um, taking it easy, and then the rug is pulled out from underneath of us. Period of unsettling.
Yay!
Right. Um,
My
then
favorite.
um, but then we are finally at a period after that, our last one, and this can go back and forth. It's not one, the other, the other, the other. It can be, but sometimes it's one and then a jump, but then a step back, and then you start at the beginning. Um, we finally have that we finally have a period of achievement where the learning is consolidated, and we have that finally the happy dream or the happier dream.
the
Why?
the the what part where does it say in there about just like relinquishing judgment.
But here we get to, when we get to that point of relinquishment, is
Mhm.
when we are, we get to the point where we're sorting out what is valuable and what's not valuable. So this is where our judgments come in, because we are being completely discerning with our judgments. Is my view on this person, this situation, this event valuable? Is it bringing me something that I really feel I need to keep? And if I'm keeping it, is it causing me unhappiness?
I'm just thinking, I can't remember where it was. It's like, yeah, there is that about um relinquishment. Like you all in the sorting out, all you knew was that you wanted what was, but how to go about that, and you can't really do that with judgment. So the whole idea, there you go, the idea of sacrifice, so central to his own thought system, had made it impossible for him to judge. So you know, the judgment thing, there you go. And now he must attain a state that may remain impossible to reach for a long, long time. He must learn to lay all judgment aside. That's for me the favorite part.
Is it
Hmm.
now? It was quite distressing for me to read that whole thing. That, but I've lived through it. Not,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not quite there for that happier dream part, but I have lived with the relinquishment. I have lived with the unsettling. I'm still going through quite a bit of the unsettling. I'm more willing now with the relinquishment. I'm more willing to give up that which is hurting me, um, instead of clinging to it and clinging to it. But had I read that before I read the course, I've been like, nope, nah.
No. I'm just turn the light on just a second. I'll be right back.
Sure. Give me an opportunity to dive in the chat, guys. I apologize. Tiger King says, just want to find God. This is what the entirety that my channel is about. So never be afraid, guys. If we have something going on in the live stream that we know is stubbing our toe on a gate, to offer an apology and start again. So I think I might need to make big mods a few more people. Hey, Netlock. So that who are aligned, so that maybe we can get that little pause. I do want to dive back in though. A few more things to talk about, and then maybe about 10 more minutes, 15 minutes. So then I got to pack it up for the afternoon.
Okay, so what do you want me to shut this off and then go?
Nope.
Should I say bye bye to everybody?
Nope. A few more things I want to talk about with you. I want to
Okay.
work through some of the characteristics of God's teachers. We covered trust. Let me, when I read them off, let me know when I hit upon the one that just makes your heart smile.
I have a question first for you, if I
Sure.
may.
Yeah.
I mean, don't you think your opening was so funny? Like, why does trust suck so much? I don't know. I don't have the answer to that, but I do agree. I mean, in a very real sense, I do think that trust is probably the thing that people, including myself, struggle with the most. You know, in their
Right.
outlook with God and life and other people and everything.
I wonder if we, let's stay on this for just a moment long. I wonder if, just like love, we were taught how to trust. at an early age in school, it was a curriculum, um, how much would that solve? That uh, instead of declaring war, we trusted that there was good.
No, just today I was reading about Norway, and in elementary school, they make the children study empathy for 1 hour a week. 1 hour a week, they have a class on empathy. And it's like worked wonders. Like bullyism is gone, it's
Right.
amazing.
The Dalai Lama has said that if we taught meditation in every grade school, war would be eliminated within a generation. Um, Meditation um, engenders compassion and empathy, a natural outpouring. Everything, all of the characteristics of God's teachers, starting with trust. And let me
Mhm.
emphasize again what Ms.Blipper said when I asked her the question. All of us are God's teachers, whether we realize it or not. The important thing is, if you want to have any true change in your life for peace, for true unconditional happiness, maybe the sooner you realize that you are God's teacher and that you teach what you most need to learn, I think the happier we can become right now, not as a far off, I want to be happy, but as a, I can be happy and I can choose to be happy beginning right now. Um,
I don't know why I keep going back to the idea with the altar. People can choose what they want to put on the altar. And I think of you when you say I even, what is it you want with everybody, everybody's wellness in the world, or anybody's wellness in the world. Put that out. Put that on the altar.
yeah. Um, so, trust. Give me the, before we move on from trust, like I said, I'm going to go through the list and then give me the big smile or the one that resonates the deepest with you. But before we
Oh,
move on from trust,
of the traits.
yes, before we move on from trust, I have endeavored through my own pain and conflict of uh, what 2025 has offered, but starting well before 2025. I knew at the beginning of 2024 and a contentious political season that I could not hate my way through it. That I was um, determined that there was indeed a better way and that I was going to trust. And that not only was I going to trust um, that politics and my relationships, I was going to trust my as deeply as possible, meaning my income, everything, everything coming from God or not coming at all. I was putting my money where my, uh, so to speak,
The
where
whole
my mouth was.
process.
The whole
The whole
process.
kit and caboodle. Yeah.
Yes. Um, it's like I've talked about this with Sniper. I've always gotten my countries wrong. I think I used to, and I think you were part of the conversation once too. I think I used to use Carthage, but it was actually South America,
Hmm.
and um, who was the conquistador who ordered the boats to be burned,
Conquistadores. Yeah. What about them?
ordered all the boats to be burned, and his men complained and said, "Well, what's going to happen if we need to retreat?" And he said, "Then don't retreat." Um, that's basically what I did, where I said, I either trust or I don't. And this is my chance to envelop myself in that trust. So who I am. But let's go through the list real quick and give me the smile in order, the one that resonates the most. So after trust, we have honesty, tolerance,
After honesty.
tolerance.
One moment.
Sure.
I'm not hearing you correctly.
Or I'm probably accenting it up.
Yeah, it's an accent that's different for me. All right. Got trust, Honesty. Tolerance. Okay.
Tolerance.
All right.
Gentleness.
What?
Gentleness.
Gentleness.
Joy.
Joy.
Defenselessness.
Mm-hmm.
Generosity. Patience. Faithfulness. Open-mindedness.
I really can't give you any favorites, Eric. For me,
Yeah.
it's like they're like a mandala. Like a different. Each is a different point on a mandala.
Right.
And
When,
if I get favoritism, um, it
but
just
what if we replace the word favoritism with, did one sort of resonate, like with this? Ooh, I like
yeah. Some
this.
of them, there were kind of in another way. Some of them were harder for me to like. I'm very clear that faith of all of those was the most difficult for me to like
Well,
cope with. Like if I had to reread and reread and try to figure out what it is, faith would have been the one that gave me the most struggle.
Um, bye, Flora. I'm going to say goodbye to Flora. Now, it is, I made a big stink about trust at the beginning.
Hmm.
Amazingly so. That's the one that caused me the most difficulty uh, at first. It is the one that I seem to resonate the most with right now, because of just wanting to surrender. Just I no longer want to carry the burden on my own. And the only way I can do that is to let it go. The only way you can ever really let something go is if you have trust, or we could also say faithfulness, that you are going to be carried, that you're not just letting your burden go, that the burden doesn't actually exist outside of your mind, and that I can just say, take it.
Yes, that there's something real that has your back.
Exactly. Not to get all country songish, but I can say, Jesus, take the Jesus, take the wheel, and literally know that He takes the wheel, um, and that truly there is no wheel, and there's nothing to crash into. Uh, Although it can definitely feel very real. I also resonate very much with uh, gentleness and defenselessness, because
Defenselessness is a good one.
it is, because it flies in the face of all that we're taught. Every last thing.
And it kind of puts on pretty clearly on the mirror um, that we've made the struggle, even if it's like fake. Oh,
Hey, Kat has a question and a comment. The difference between faith and trust. From my own personal point of view, right now, faith doesn't suck as much.
question.
Faith doesn't trust. Faith doesn't suck as much as trust does.
Uh, um, well, I I'm guessing here, but the part of the trust that I liked what the course said is it's a developing. It's a process. It's an ongoing process. So we're always like um unfolding trust. Trust is we're always increasing our trust. Whereas faith for me is kind of like a reward that comes, it's like something that you have. It's a procedural thing.
Okay.
That's for me.
Um, Kat, what do you think of that? I like that. I like that quite a bit. Quite a bit. Um, that I like thinking of it sort of as trust feels sort of like a verb, and faith sort of feels like a noun. that
Mhm.
I don't have to. Faith isn't going to take anything from me. It's not going to make any demands. It's not going to make me relinquish. I get to keep my stuff when I have faith. But trust tells me let go of the stuff that doesn't serve.
Mhm. Yeah,
And
faith feels more like a reward to me. Like it's like
right,
what comes after you've done all that other stuff, whereas
right.
trust is the actual um,
And
work in it.
Cat knows Cat knows how much I appreciate my stuff. So when I get to keep it, um, I'm doing pretty good. Uh, let's see. Last thing I want to touch upon. So defenselessness. Um, one, why is it? Uh, why do you think it's hard for people? Who wants to be defenseless?
Me,
But won't you get hurt if you're defenseless? Can I come by and take your stuff from you if if you're defenseless?
um, I think what we want to get into is what was really real in the first place.
I like
You
that.
know, was I relying on things? I mean, you want my fishbowl? You can have my fishbowl. You know, because I'm not really relying. I mean, it might appear like I'm relying on my fishbowl, but I'm not really relying about my fishbowl. And if I have, then I haven't put it necessarily in the right place, which is like um, heart space.
So we can sort of say nothing truly essential can be taken from us.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, the only thing that could be taken is our attachment to something,
I'd agree with that.
and that defenselessness is the refusal to be attached even to the things that we are attached to. That we can acknowledge, I like this. I like this very much. I'm looking around at books that I've had forever. I'm looking at photos of people that I've loved through the years. Um, and I think about the love that I had when I was holding my father's hand when he took his last breath
Sure.
and he surrendered. Um, he wasn't taken from me. Had I been uh, full of defense, I would have beat my chest. What's the biblical? I would have rendered my clothing, um, and I would have lost something that felt essential. And sure, there was a moment, but even then, I knew um, the love that I had with my father was present and would always be present. And I could afford to mourn. I could afford to cry. I could afford to be filled with grief because I had nothing to defend against his loss. That um, I love the way everything ties in because it brings me around again to trust.
Mm-hmm.
I had to trust that uh, my father, in the most essential way, was and is always present.
Yeah,
Which I
I don't know why, but what's coming to my mind is it's like reassuring in the greater picture. It's like the macrocosm and the microcosm. You know, the small little picture here. And what I was going to say earlier was not as gentle, which is that I was going to say that sometimes people get caught up in the little things as a way to kind of stifle their fear of the bigger things. But then when you think that no, actually the bigger thing has your back and is a protective kind of force, um, then those little things don't really matter as much.
agreed. And by the way, beautifully said.
Oh, thanks.
Um, all right, so I think we'll wrap things up.
Cat and Jack's got another one there. Oh, yeah, no, that's what she wrote there. Difference between faith and we all have shields as aliens. Sissy want to find God. You and me both, Sissy.
Hey,
Um,
Hermausen, Hermausen.
yeah, lots. I've experienced lots of things paranormal and that I can't explain. Tons.
Yeah, I have as well.
Yeah. That might be a conversation for another meeting.
perhaps later in the week, or if you want, could be Monday afternoons with Miss Blipper.
Monday afternoons, the Ms.Blipper sounds good. Yeah.
Okay, well let's make that an actual thing. Kat says, Miss Blipper, thank you so much. You're such a beautiful teacher. Sorry for the misstep of your name. Talk to Tex.
Oh, I like it. Thank you, Kat. I like Flipper. Flipper was the name of a punk band in San Francisco. And what was their song? They had a really interesting song. Can't remember. Oh, yeah, now I remember the punk song from the band Flipper. It said, life is the only thing worth living for.
Nice. So you're a punk fan?
No, just was
No.
happening at the time. Whatever was like bringing the energy up in the city.
Says, will this be a regular feature, Yogi, on a Monday session? Yes. If Miss Flipper agrees, then it's a done deal.
I'm happy, but I don't want, Seb just like cut out of Mondays because I'm here. Like, she ask that because, like, if I'm going to be here, I'm not going to come in on Mondays,
If Miss Flipper's here,
I'm
I'm
going
out
to
of here,
skip
guys.
Mondays, right?
Lee actually last week was one of the first people came up and said how important he found our conversation.
Oh, sweet that is.
And
Kindness.
I'm graciously including myself in that comment because what he really basically said was Miss Flipper's awesome.
Aw.
She needs to come up more often. So man, I'm in, and I like the name Monday
Lots of
with Miss Flipper,
kindness in your room. What?
and I like that name Monday with Miss Flipper.
I like the name. I
Um,
get to be Miss Blipper. I can identify as somebody else. Yeah.
Sissy says, "Thank you, Miss Flipper. You're an asset to the collective, and I love you."
Oh, so sweet. Thank you. Likewise. Blessings.
Tiger King, I wouldn't worry about freedom of speech. For one, we're on the internet, and anyone can be timed out. It has no actual meaning. Freedom of speech when anyone can time you out at any given moment. So I could say sure, and then you could say something that really pisses me off, and I time you out, and say, "Well, no, I changed my mind." So here's the thing: be kind, and let's not worry about it.
I was just
Hey,
thinking,
Kia.
what if the world was just the opposite? And so somebody was like they were saying blessings. Oh, that's lovely. Thank you so much. Blessings to you. So much light. And they was like, that's horrible. And they shut them down. They close them off. We haven't gotten that far yet in Orwell's
Not
scene.
yet.
Not yet. They're working on it, but
So Kat says, this was a very pleasant live stream. You must make it a thing. So
yay.
if Kat says it, I got to do it.
Cat, Ms.Blipper Mondays.
Um,
It's a good hour for me too, because you normally do this hour anyway, right? No, it's a
Yep.
good hour in the evening, 7.
Good.
As you can see, the sun has just gone down. That's why I had to
Hey,
turn the light on.
do you have a window nearby?
I have a huge window. You want to see? Hold on.
Well, I was wondering if the chat would like to see, before we sign off for the night, would you like to see a view of Rome?
Oh, well, my window doesn't really do Rome any justice, but I'll show you my backyard, my terrace. Hold on a
Sure.
second.
Well, hey, your your backyard is in Rome, and that counts.
Yes, it is. I'll tell you when we're facing the Vatican direction. All right. So this is that's the little room there where I just was sitting, and this is the back neighbors. Parks down there. Parks down there. More neighbors. Here's my little terrace garden. You know, the moon's not out yet, so that's that. So, did you see Rome at all, or a little bit?
Well, as I said, it all counts. Rome is Rome. Rome is where you find it when you're in Rome. That's, you can't not see Rome when you're in Rome. And I loved it. I loved the fact I mentioned before I had a friend that lived in Rome years ago, and she would call on my birthday, and it just filled me with so much joy. Just someone in Rome took the time out. And then, last fall when you and I were talking on the phone and we were doing our breath work together, it just filled me with joy to see the phone light up and know that I had a friend calling me from Rome.
When I think of one of my favorite lines in the course of all is what is it when a place of ancient hatred becomes a place of current love, and that
Yes,
always reminds me of Rome, because in Jesus' time Rome was the enemy, and yet Paul and so many of that, it, Rome was a heavy player, let's put it that way, in the whole history of Christianity story, for better and for worse, in both ways. But for me personally, I had to really get over Rome being the enemy. I think that has something to do with why I'm here.
sure.
Seriously, I had like an inside fear of Rome that went all the way to the sun.
Your volume faded out a little bit.
Oh,
There you go. It's better. There we
I
go.
don't know why.
I
Um,
always like the thought of modernity and an ancient city. That dichotomy of modernness and yet in a city that is so ancient. Just fascinates me.
it's not Rome. Rome is not very modern, really. There's a lot of ancient Rome. That's true, and things are like we have electricity and whatnot, but the aqueducts are still up. But yet, the part that is fascinating is that it has been a city forever. And when you walk around at night down in the center, it really you get a vibe of this place has been a city a long time.
Right. Hey, Sniper says, I love the new Monday evening collaboration, Ms.Blipper.
Yay! Thank you, Squirrel.
All right, it's official. Monday
Chipmunk.
with Ms.Blipper. That has a nice ring to it too. Monday with Ms.Blipper.
It does. It does have a nice ring to it.
Yeah. Because originally it used to be called Monday with that yogi guy talking about the same old stuff over and over again. And that's kind of a long title. But Monday with Ms.Blipper just has a really nice hey Adam. Very nice ring to it. I like it.
I really appreciate, Eric, how like skilled you are at not making language about the religious language, or when it's talking about Jesus or the Holy Spirit or God or miracles or anything. You really have a talent for like making it not difficult that way.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Miss Pepper says, Yogi, just let me know what absolutely is not exceptional to say in this chat. We'll be on standby. I have to go now for my premiere. I look forward to the replay. Agape Omni love to all. So Miss Pepper has Sissy Soulstar has a premiere of her energy forecast coming up. If
Oh,
anyone wants to
neato.
head over. Yep.
That's very cool.
Uh,
Agape Omni love to all. Likewise.
yep. And all right. So I'm gonna wrap things up. A few
All
things to
right.
do. I'll be back in 3 hours. Hey, as well as Monday
Thank
with
you.
Miss Blipper, you got to come up and sing a song on a Friday sometime.
I don't, truth be told, I mean, I only know when I'm coming on board and showing my face, and I know what times, but otherwise it's very random for me, like when anything's on. I don't know when Friday is. I mean, I know when Friday is, but I don't know when you do your song thing on Friday. I don't know what time that is.
Whenever you show up. Speaking of randomness,
Hmm.
what a gift the algorithms gave me when you randomly popped in a morning live stream over a year ago and instantly became a good friend.
There we are. Yeah, just people show up, like they say. That isn't that in your manual, right?
So, yep, they show up when they're supposed to. And
Right.
I'm certainly glad that I was ready and open for you.
Likewise. Likewise.
Love you, my friend.
All right. Love everybody.
Yep.
Bye
Take
bye,
care, guys.
everybody.
Yep. We'll see you later. I'll see you over at
Bye.
Sissy's.
Okay.